What's up, everybody? It's your girl AlleyBenz here, and we are finally back with another video. Today I'm going to be talking about the Real Housewives of Potomac, episode 1. I'm going to try to run through this as quickly as possible because there's just so much I have to get to. But for now, I hope you guys enjoy the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss any updates from me. And without further ado, let's get into it. So we start the episode off with the Grand Dame being released from prison after being sentenced to a year for her DUI that she was sentenced for in March. But she was luckily able to get like 5 months. She only did like 5 to 6 months in jail and got out on good behavior. So we're happy for that. Then it flashed forward to the beginning of the season in March, 2 days after Karen's sentencing.
Developing today, a judge sentenced Huber to 1 year in jail. She was found guilty on 7 counts of DUI related to a crash last March.
And we have Giselle at her house getting everything ready, drinks and whatnot, because she's going to have the girls over. And they're going to be discussing everything that done happened. Or, like, they're going to be discussing their feelings of how they felt about the fact that Karen is been sentenced to a whole year in prison. So the first one to arrive to Giselle's house is Ashley, and they're talking about how they just really cannot believe that Karen is in jail. And honestly, if you are a fan of this show, you would be saying the same thing. Back then, it was just like, I cannot believe Karen is in jail right now. Like, every day Karen was locked up, I was just like, I cannot believe Karen is in jail right now. Then they talk about who's all supposed to be coming over to Giselle's house. And Giselle is like, she talked to Kay, she talked to Wendy, and she talked to Stacy. And Ashley was like, oh, Stacy, me and her just got together a couple of weeks ago with our kids. And Ashley is all about, like, she wants Stacy to be more forthcoming with her whole relationship and her situation with TJ. But it's like, Ashley, do you really care about Stacy's relationship with TJ, or do you just want to start drama? Like, everybody know that relationship with TJ was fraud and phony. Like, we don't really have to rehash that. Like, if you believe that she lied about it, then just take it on the chin that she lied. It has nothing to do with you. Ashley, if you truly believe that Stacey lied, that has nothing to do with you. Like, everybody know that relationship was fake, fraud, and phony. There's no need to keep rehashing something that nobody truly cares about. Then you got Kiana and Wendy pulling up together, and Kay is asking Wendy, is this the first time you'd have been to Jizzy's house? Because I know you'd have been there before. And this is when we get the flashback of Giselle outside soiree or whatever she had going on in 2021. And Wendy was like, am I jealous of this? And it was just like construction site. But, you know, in light of recent events, I don't know. So Kiana and Wendy is standing outside, knocking on the door, ringing the doorbell, and Giselle and Ashley are so caught up in talking crap about Stacy and TJ that they don't even realize that these girls is standing waiting for the door to be open. So they just walk in, and Giselle is like, oh my gosh, hey y'all. And they just looking like, girl, we just walked up in your house. Like, 1, did you not hear the doorbell? 2, why the door not locked? But I mean, if you're expecting people to come over, then probably it's like, well, I shouldn't really have to lock the door because I know y'all finna come over. But at the same time, it's just like, you should keep your doors locked at all times. You're a single woman that lives alone. But then again, she had just opened the door for Ashley. So would she have consciously relocked the door afterwards, or would she have just left it open because she knew everybody else was coming too? I don't know. So Stacy finally arrives, and at first they were talking mess about her, about the fact that she got the same type of car as Ashley. Then Ashley throws shade, and it's like, well, she said it's just her for now car because she's getting her car custom made. Why does that matter? Pete, y'all can't have the same car? Y'all only allowed to have one car? Like, that's not making sense. All day drama be so stupid and dumb. And then when Stacy walks up, this girl is burping, like, ooh, excuse me, and it's like, ew. Like, cameras, did y'all really have to pick that up? Like, that was silly, shady. That was so dumb. When Stacy walks in, everybody gives their little pity-pat hugs and whatnot, and they sit down, and then they finally discuss Karen being in jail, and everybody's just like, I cannot believe Karen's in jail. Like, y'all, can't nobody believe that Karen was in jail. Like, everybody knew that Karen deserved some type of punishment, which everybody was like, Karen, you should have just took the plea deal that said you was only going to do 30 days, but instead you tried to fight it And it's like, I don't blame you for wanting to fight it, thinking that you might have been able to get off, but at the same time, you knew everything that you did was wrong, so you knew you should have just took that plea deal. Like, that is, girl, like, you in the state penitentiary looking like Boosie in jail because you wanted to fight your 4th DUI, girl. Come on. So the jail time was needed. I'm with Giselle. We didn't need another 5th DUI. Like, we need you to actually take some time to reflect, have to be able to sit down and go over your crimes, okay? Then they talk about, Ashley brings up the Thomas Jefferson concubine BS, and they looking like, girl, that was crazy, which it was. That whole interview was crazy because it was just like, Karen, you are clearly inebriated right now. Like, girl, let's be for real.
Green people, you wanted white people.
It has nothing to do with any of that.
Yeah, it does. It has everything. So
it
what's your
actually
point?
has zero to do with that. I don't
So,
get to make
I'm sorry.
how this happens.
All right, it's not you. I'm sorry. I'm extremely intelligent. I am Thomas Jefferson's concubine.
They was like, okay, well, let's just not even talk about that because that was crazy, right? So Ashley's like, okay, well, Thomas Jefferson, let's talk about TJ. Stacey, what's going on with you? So Stacey's like, I'm doing the same thing that I did at the reunion, which is sitting in my truth. And everybody looking like, well, what's the truth to you, Stacey? Like, you never gave the truth. What are you talking about? And she's just like, TJ lied, and he said that he wanted to come in and say that he lied, but I don't really want to give him that time of day right now because I'm still feeling hurt about it. And Ashley's looking like, well, I heard on the blogs that he don't feel sorry. He's also standing in his truth. So I'm gonna believe a man over you because I don't take women seriously because I'm so male-centered. So Wendy does bring up a good point when she's like, when we were at the reunion, we were trying to tell you what this man was saying, but you was over here trying to say that we liars because you don't believe none of that because that's your friend. Which is like, I get that, because if I'm trying to come to you as your friend and tell you, hey friend, your guy is over here saying all this crazy mess about you and I want you to know, you can't be like, oh, you a liar because he would never say that, because these men will say anything to make a woman look crazy. Like, let's not act like that's not true. And at the same time, why are y'all just automatically believing TJ when y'all met TJ through Stacey? So like, that also doesn't make sense, because it's like, it's just not making sense. Like, if I'm your friend and you saying, oh, I'm coming to you as a friend telling you that somebody's saying this about you, you can't get mad that I'm telling you that. You can't get mad because I'm telling you this and then you want to call me a liar. But at the same time, you can be mad when that person that you call your friend, that you're trying to tell them about their friend, is like, well, that's my friend, so I don't really see my friend saying that. Like, I'm gonna have to talk to my friend afterwards, but you coming to me with what is allegedly new information, so I'm not just finna blindly believe y'all. Like, that's true, that's real. So they kind of break the fourth wall a little bit, and Stacey's like, I would never bring TJ on here knowing that I'm not even legally divorced yet for money. Like, that's dumb, that's stupid. I would never do that to get on a show. I've been on reality TV, which is QVC, for years. And Kiana's like, oh, well, they've been saying that you've been trying to get on this show for quite some time. And Stacey's like, no, because I've been the QVC lady for the last 48 years. Your grandma probably know who I am. So I don't need this, what Monique called this little chat, especially not to bring TJ's non-heterosexual self on here just to humiliate me for clicks and giggles. Like, that's crazy. All of y'all been embarrassed by a man too.
And Buffy, you can relate.
Like, all this junk is embarrassing, and y'all over here trying to make me feel bad when y'all done been embarrassed by a man too. And Giselle looking like, no, don't bring us in your stuff, because what is you even talking about? Stacey's like, y'all ain't never been embarrassed by a man? Oh, okay, like, let's just dead that. And Giselle was like, well, Stacey, this group is about accountability. So in order for you to be in this group, you have to be accountable when we asking you stuff. But yes, you're right. Whenever you want to ask questions about us, we are going to dance around it, because that ain't got nothing to do with us. That we asking you questions about yourself. So Stacey and her two bundles get up and leave, because she's like, I'm not finna be sitting here interrogated about a man who I'm not even finna bring on the show this season. And everybody's just looking like, well, I guess you just gonna walk off. So as soon as Stacey leaves and they don't run after her to hold her accountable for anything, Giselle immediately gets into it and it's like, y'all, so when we was at this event a few weeks ago, we sat down with this lady and she's a acclaimed actress. She says she TJ best friend, and she done showed us some documents of TJ suing Stacey for the alleged money that she owes him for bringing him on this show. And everybody's just looking like, what? What do you mean he's suing her? How she just gonna sit here and tell us that she can't believe nothing and oh my gosh, I'm so hurt, but at the same time you probably got served last week with a legal filing that you owe TJ some money. Like, girl, what are we doing here? Are you telling the truth or are you lying? Who knows? The truth ain't in her. My whole thing with this first scene was, all of this is weird. Like, these are questions y'all been wanting to ask Stacey, but y'all not her friend for real. And so y'all waited till them cameras came up to be like, girl, I heard you getting sued by that non-heterosexual man. Like, what's tea with that? And y'all know Stacey to the point where y'all know she ain't gonna be as forthcoming as y'all want her to be, especially on camera. I feel like Stacey will be more willing to have these talks off camera, but because TJ was such a big part of her storyline, like, yeah, girl, we gonna have to talk about that because, like, so what's up with that? Like, what are you talking about? Also, I noticed when Ashley and Wendy and Kay was hugging each other, Kay was like, are you still Mrs. Darby? And Ashley's like, yeah, I'm still Mrs. Darby. And Wendy, like, they did a little church hug, the worst church hug, like the church hug that you do with that one lady that you really don't like, but that's your grandma friend, and so you gotta like speak to them every time. That was the hug Wendy and Ashley had gave each other. So 2 months later, Wendy and Eddie are talking to an interior designer, and she's saying that she want to renovate her house. She want to get all new floors, she want a built-in fireplace, and she want marble all the way up to the ceiling. And Eddie was like, how? That's a tall ceiling. She's like, yeah, it's 19 feet. That's a lot, but you know. And he looking like, so where this money coming from? And she's like, the drug money. Happy Eddie is doing very well. Take a shot every time Wendy says Happy Eddie is doing very well.
Where's this money coming from?
Happy Eddie is doing very well. Let's use this drug money, okay?
We're gonna be drunk alcoholics in AA by the end of the season, I promise you. We flash to Ashley and she's donating some stuff that nobody's ever gonna get except the people at the mission who don't really have anything. Her friends is looking like, girl, you still got your bridal robe from 48 years ago. I don't really have much to say about Ashley. I don't like her or her wigs. So we get to Stacey and her white ex-husband, and they are sitting down talking about how they are divorced but now they want to get back together, and how when they was going through their divorce they never told their child, which is actually crazy because she was like, they found out that they were officially divorced when they was on vacation as a family. And it's like, okay, I understand not wanting to put your child in everything that y'all got going on, but at the same time, like, wouldn't it be more jarring to a child to see like one day dad's here and mom and dad is a big happy family, and then the next day he moves out or mom moves out and it's like, oh yeah, we divorced now. Like, I would tell my kid a little bit sooner. That way they can have some time to adjust instead of having like an abrupt, okay, now we're separated. When we get back from vacation, dad's not coming home with us. Like, that's even crazier in my opinion. So Stacey was like, I'm glad that we're able to actually put this time to prioritize us and the relationship, because before it was all about the daughter and how instead of date nights we would rather do family nights, which is a real conversation to be had because a lot of couples end up deteriorating, just like the husband said, which is like, we just not putting too much time and effort in each other except when we go to bed, and at that point, like, that's all the relationship be besides the child. So like, yeah, that makes sense to actually have this time to prioritize y'all selves as a couple and not as parents, so y'all can actually still be in love and fall in love with each other every day versus being in love with the fact that y'all are a family. So they agreed to leave the daughter out of it once again because they don't want to confuse her on the fact that your parents didn't tell you they was getting a divorce until after the family vacation, and then daddy had to go move somewhere else. And now mommy was on TV with a non-heterosexual man, and he over here telling people that she owes him money because she was paying him to come on the show. Now mommy and daddy are dating again, but we don't want you to think that, oh, we finna get married again because we just might break up. And I don't want you to know that we was even dating. I want you to know that if we was divorced, that's final until we be like, hey, we married and we want you to come to the second reception so you could be there. So we get to Kiana's new condo and her mom comes in, and her mom is gorgeous. Like, Kiana's mom is like really, really beautiful. And they talk about how she's in this new space, so she got her new condo, and she had got this picture put up on her window, or not her window, her wall, and was like, I just needed a reminder to myself that I'm the baddest. And then they talk about Greg, ugly ass, who dismissed her every chance he got on camera, embarrassed her every chance he got on camera, never got braces, never got a hairline restoration, none of that extra stuff that even could have helped himself look better in the light of the grand scheme of things. But it's like, no, you're ugly, you're rude, and you're embarrassing. Like, let's hope, fingers crossed, he never graces our screens again, right? Wrong, because the mom immediately brings up that 3 months after y'all broke up and you got into your new house, here come this gremlin again to sneagle his way back into somewhere to live because he's giving hobosexual. And Kay is just like, yeah. So Kiana's mom is like, okay, so what you and him gonna do differently this time? And Kay is just like, well, I don't want to rush into the marriage and make him feel like he has an obligation to me and blah blah blah, and I just want to take things slow and, you know, get to know each other again and be friends again and have him embarrass me on TV again because he needs a little bit of money that I can throw him off with, like $5,000 from this whole thing, so he don't have to live with me no more. That's my feelings, because I'm just like, nothing is gonna change just because he took you to Jamaica and y'all had a talk and he was like, oh, she left me for real. That don't mean nothing. That doesn't mean anything. Like, Greg embarrassed you. You said yourself he showed his ass on national TV. Let's not keep Greg in the equation. Like, let's find somebody new. So the mom is like, girl, I raised a strong, independent black woman who don't need no man to be out here embarrassing her on national TV just for her to be happy. I didn't like seeing you like that. And Kay brings up how nobody in her family liked seeing her like that. And it's just crazy because it's never giving that he truly loves you. It's giving that the man loves what comes with having a relationship, and it's not necessarily valuing the woman that he's with. It's just saying that he has a woman to do whatever with later on in his own time. So we go back to Wendy and Eddie, and they in the living room with their kids, and they telling them that, you know, Eddie finna leave to go to New Jersey because they branching out to a whole nother state of him selling weed. This is when we get Wendy saying she proud of Eddie because Happy Eddie is doing so well.
Because Happy Eddie is, you know, financially successful. Cha-ching.
Take a shot because Wendy's like, Happy Eddie is doing very successfully, doing very well. So there we go again. We 2 shots in already, and this is just the first episode. So they trying to use that to tell the kids, like, you know, being an entrepreneur, it takes a little time. Once you start to pick up traction and everything going well, like, this is the type of stuff that you want to do or whatever. And so they ask the kids what they want to be when they grow up. And the baby girl is like, she want to be a doctor like the mommy. And then this when the middle child is like, mama ain't no doctor. She not no real doctor. She just, her name is doctor. Like, that don't mean she go to surgery. Which, I mean, is true. But let's put some respect on PhDs, because without PhDs, we will be nowhere. Like, without those people, them the people that can actually explain things when things need to be explained. But then again, with Wendy, you know, there's a lot going on with her in her personal life currently, so I don't know how she can use her PhD to explain her way out of this. So Wendy is like, Eddie is not only an inspiration to me for being able to step out of his actual career to go sell weed. He's an inspiration to other people, especially in the group, like Stacy, who is going to sell weed, and, you know, imitation the best form of flattery. Then they asked the son what he want to be when he grow up, and he was like, he want to work at Chick-fil-A. Which, I mean, I don't blame you, because I enjoy their food. I wouldn't want to work there because they always are like one of the busiest fast food chains. But I understand from a kid's perspective, like Chick-fil-A is lit, you know? And my parents are already rich. So I don't really need to work hard. My sister just said she wanted to be a doctor. Like, if my sister's a doctor, my parents is rich, I can work at Chick-fil-A. I can end up being the owner. Hello, entrepreneur, didn't you just say that? So we get to Ashley and her wig and her chin and her push-up bra. She's at the dress store because she's gonna have a second bloom party to celebrate her divorce. Her divorce lasted longer than the marriage seemed like, but now that we here, we celebrated it, thank God. She got a little chunk change. We appreciate that for her because she's gonna need it. So Ashley is talking to the dress lady about Stacey, saying that she a model, and then she's like, I really want to be friends with Stacey, but she just don't want to let nobody in. Which, I mean, if I was Stacey and I watched this show before, I really wouldn't let y'all bitches in too much, because y'all love to take people's personal lives and personal stories and throw that back in their face the minute it don't really work out. So I wouldn't really tell y'all too much about what I got going on, because y'all is sneaks and snakes. But at the same time, I get it, because it's like, how can we build a friendship if you don't never try to tell me nothing about yourself? Like, girl, you want to relate, but then when I ask you, you don't want to talk about it. Like, that's not making sense. Then they talk about Ashley's second bloom party, and Ashley is further explaining the fact that she's celebrating getting a divorce from Michael. Stacey's like, I don't really think divorce needs to be celebrated. But at the same time, Stacey, Ashley didn't really love her husband. She married him for money. You probably actually did love your husband. Like, y'all look around the same age. You know, it's giving y'u legit had things in common. Ashley and Michael never looked at each other the way you and your husband did. So when you truly fell out of love, or you truly did not like that person in the first place, yeah, you're gonna celebrate it like, finally, I'm out of this. So Trashley usually wastes no time when getting to the mess of it all, and she's holding her breath. Like, she looked like she's always holding her breath to me. Like, I don't know, I can't even do it, but she looks like she's always holding her breath to me. And she's just like, so a couple days before we was at Giselle's house, we was at the Black Women in Hollywood event, and this lady who's an acclaimed actress showed us some screenshots, a legal document saying that TJ's suing you for money. Ashley is like, so what's up with this lawsuit? Stacey's like, I don't really know what to say to that. And then Ashley does this whole big dramatic turnaround, like, oh my God, Stacey, see, this is what I be talking about. And it's like, Ashley, what are you talking about? The lawsuit just might be something that she ain't got served with yet, girl. Like, you doing a lot for TJ. And TJ didn't mess with you like that. Like, you're doing a lot, talking about some she a liar or whatnot. Like, this is what people be trying to say. And it's like, girl, y'all really not saying nothing, because how can you confront me about something I might not know about yet? Like, are you for real? So they going back and forth with the whole, is the lawsuit real? Is it ain't real? This might be new information to you. And then Stacey's like, it might be new to you, but it ain't new to me. And I'm like, okay, Stacey, there's a lie right there. There's a lie somewhere in there, because if it's not new information to you, but then you saying the document and the friend is imaginary, like, are the documents imaginary, or were you already privy to the fact that TJ wanted to sue you at some point in time? And then Ashley's like, so you just finna wait till it come out? And Stacey's like, no, because I don't have to do that, because I don't care no more. I done moved on. And I'm just like, yeah, move on, because he tired, he done, he's done. Like, it doesn't matter. And even if she does wait till it come out, I mean, that would be a more appropriate time to admit to it versus something that hasn't even been filed yet. Like, hello? Then Ashley's gonna be like, oh, okay, so whatever, let's just drop that. Are you actually divorced? Ashley, oh, so now you counting down people divorces just because you finally got divorced? Girl, you got a lot of nerve underneath that wig. And maybe that's why the wig looked like it got to bump it, because you done bumped up your ego so much now that you got this divorce and this settlement, that you think you above everybody when it comes to divorce decrees. And so Stacey looking like, girl, what is you even talking about? Why do you care if I'm divorced or not? Like, I am officially divorced. And Ashley's like, because when I got my divorce, I Googled it and you could see that I'm divorced. So I decided to Google everybody in the group and see if they divorced or not. And yours never came up. So it's giving you lied about that. And Stacey's like, why are you Googling me when you need to be Googling a voice coach? Actually, you need to be Googling a life coach to tell you that singing is not for you. That's the voice coach. All you're going to end up sounding like is Taylor Swift at the end of the day, and nobody likes her voice. Just Google somebody that's going to say, baby, sit down and do something else, like do Pilates or something. I don't understand why Ashley won't do like a Pilates or be a yoga instructor or something. Like that looks like more her style and her speed. She was trying to do the athletic wear, yoga, like that go hand in hand. Like that's an easy, you could open up a yoga studio and sell the merch at the studio. Like the singing needs to stop. It needs to stop for real. Like I'm not even playing. The singing has to stop. Like you have to stop trying to sing. You're not a singer. Okay? We're not gonna ask Candy to take you to the studio so we can make some beats, because no beats need to be made for you ever again in life. Okay? Let's just call it that. So Stacey was like, girl, until you talk to the friend and show me the documents that you and them talking about, I don't really need to hear this, and I'ma just make my exit now. And Ashley looking like, girl, you love a walk-off. And it's like, I mean, I'm not finna keep going back and forth with you and you just gonna call me a liar the whole time I'm here. It's like we'll never come to a resolution until you show me your proof, and then I can either confirm or deny. And if I deny proof that's like an actual legal filing, then boom, okay, I'm a liar. Just because you Googled it and couldn't find her divorce in the database doesn't mean she a liar when it comes to the divorce. Like it just means it's not in that database. Like I don't know, you too worried about stuff that doesn't matter to you. What should matter to you is why you keep trying to sing when you shouldn't. You should stop the singing. Like, yeah, I'm not finna sit here and keep going back and forth with you if all you're gonna do is say, well, you a liar anyways. So basically nothing I tell you, you're gonna believe. So it don't even matter if I'm sitting here talking to you. Like, let's be for real. Then gonna be slick and say, you out here running from the truth when I should be running from that hot ass breath. Ooh, hot ass breath. And I'm like, girl, okay, her breath hot. That's something I would have told her when I first met her. I'm not finna wait a whole season to be like, your breath stank. I would have told her breath stank like the first time she had got loud with me last season. I wouldn't have waited for something else to come up so I can be like, that's why your breath hot. Okay, and you stood in that hot breath for a whole season and a half. So I don't think it matters to you how hot that girl breath is, because that wasn't even a thing. So we get to the stepmom of Snow White and all her mirrors, and she's talking about how she's loving being an empty nester because she can have her titties out and walk around the house without the kids making fun of her. And now she just feels a little bit more confident because she can bring men in and out the house because ain't no kids there. She got reasonably shady and GNA that we only got hats for, so it's giving. Robin did a collab with them, but like Robin gets like 10% of the proceeds when it comes to their business because all they are selling is hats. So Giselle calls Forehead and she's like, hey girl, what's up? I can't wait for the party. And Ashley is like, me neither. I sent Stacey a special invite, but I don't know if she gonna come. And this is what makes me feel like Giselle and Ashley and Robin previously be trying to punk people out when it comes to the whole Mean Girls thing, because they really do be trying to like gag the girls poorly and then be like, yeah, because I bet you ain't gonna show up now, and then the girls still show up and be like, yeah, because you ain't finna punk me out because ain't nobody scared of y'all. Like, then Ashley does her gargled impression of Stacey, and it's like, Ashley, I can't believe you say that about me. And it's just like, girl, if Stacey said the documents is fake, then that's on Stacey. Just like you said her divorce is fake because you can't find it in the database. Did you look up the legal filings TJ allegedly did in the database? I bet you didn't. I bet you just saw screenshots of something that somebody intended to file but never did. So we're finally get to meet new girl Angel and her super fine husband, and she is Kay's friend of almost 20 years. I'm guessing they went to college together or whatever, I don't know, but they know each other since they was 18. And Kay is like, they used to hustle together. Angel used to work at BET and she used to be her client, and they was business partners at one point, so they supposed to be really good Judies. So Angel says she's originally from Maryland, but she had moved to Colorado with her husband when he signed for the Denver Broncos. And so she's like, she's very glad to be back because she missed her friends and family. And she was like, the first thing people think about me when they see me is that I'm a B word because I might have rest in B face. And I'm like, maybe people just, maybe you do have rest in B face. I don't know. That the minute you say something like that, it'd be like, it's because you probably are. Like, it has nothing to do with how you be looking. It's how what people done overheard about you or what people done heard you say, and then be like, oh, that girl's a bitch. Like it's plenty of people who look very nice that be like, oh no, you not no B, like, or people that, like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. So they go on this little hike by Angel's house, and Angel is asking Kiana to tell her about the social landscape in the city, because, you know, she ain't been around for a while, and she's kind of new again, even though this is where she from. Like, she new to the new social circles that have been created in her absence, right? And so she tells her about Giselle and how they are kind of getting along, tells her about Ashley. Angel was like, you know what? Ashley used to be my bottle girl at the club one time. And Kay is like, yeah, you know, she do give bottle girl. And she gives one of those bottle girls who was like, they just hating on me because I'm light skinned. They just hating on me because I'm skinny. Like, that's the type of bottle girl Ashley give me. But maybe that's how she met Michael. I don't know. They get to Wendy, and Kiana is asking Angel, like, you should know her, right? And Angel is like, yeah, we went to college together. She was roommates with my big sister or whatever. But then Angel is like, you know, I don't really know Wendy like that because she's several years older than me. And when she was in the dough, when she was out the dough, I was in the dough. So she's giving like 48 years old when I was only fresh 18. So, you know, she's super older than me. So I don't really know her too much, but I done seen her walking around campus with a little suit on going to class. So I know she's kind of that girl or want to be that girl, but you know, she's several years older than me. And I'm looking like, okay, the several years older than you comment is why people think you're a bitch. It has nothing to do with resting bitch face. We all have that. It's those comments like that. It's like, girl, just because I'm 22 and you 18, 4 years, okay, 3 years, okay, that's you acting like that girl was like 25, grad student, about to get her master's, and you was 17 and you turned 18 like Halloween night during your first semester of college. Like, don't sit here and act like that girl is super older than you when y'all both went to college around the same time. Like, so this is when Kay starts to speak on her issues with Wendy, and it's like, it's been a couple microaggressions, passive aggressiveness with us, because I was in LA for the NAACP awards, and she didn't want to tell me that she was going to be there, except I already knew she was going to be there. And then it was another event where I walked in and she seen me, and I was waiting for her to be like, hey girl, turn around or something, like acknowledge her presence, and she ain't never acknowledged her presence. And then Angel's like, well, you know the girl passive aggressive, like you seen her before, and they kiki and giggle about that. And I'm just like, the way Kay is explaining it to Angel, it makes sense to feel some type of way, because, and I'm jumping ahead of myself, but like when Kay explains it to Wendy, Wendy is like, oh, so you wanted me to stop my speech to acknowledge you? But it's like, actually, no, the girl was just waiting for you to acknowledge her at all throughout the event, and is giving that you snubbed her the whole event. So I don't know, this whole thing is trying to make Kay seem like she reaching, and she just might be. Like, my shoulder's already hurting from talking about it, but at the same time, it's giving there is a little truth to that, and Wendy's just not going to admit to that, because Wendy is above it all as like one of the people that's been on here longer than anybody else. So Kiana and Angel agree, like, I don't know why Wendy doing all this, because she's supposed to be your friend. Like, she's the one that introduced you to the group. So her with this weird energy is giving, for me, like, it's only Wendy, Giselle, and Ashley that's been on here for at least 3 to 4 seasons, and everybody else is new. So they gonna be the ones that's like, we gonna gag the girls now, and I can dismiss you with your little, oh, you don't want to be my friend type comments, just like they did me in my first couple seasons. Like, I don't know, it's a hazing that you just gonna get dismissed because your stuff is petty. It's petty for real. But even though it's petty, if I'm above it all and I'm that girl like I say I am, my bad, girl, I'm sorry I made you feel that way. Like, it is what it is and ain't what it ain't. Can we move forward? Because this is dumb and petty, and I ain't finna have petty arguments when I'm supposed to be the top dog. So we get to Ashley's second bloom party, and her having a white makeup artist and those thick chunky braids under her wigs, now it's just making all of the sense. So Angel and Kay ride together and they get to the party, and Kay is like, I'm ready to confront Wendy on this stuff about how I feel, what she been doing lately. And Angel's like, yeah, I'm ready to get to know the people for my first time and actually go in with, you know, my own mind and not yours because I'm grown. And then Giselle brings her friend Tia. Giselle was so excited to have a friend, y'all. Like, the way she said that, she's like, I have a friend.
I have a friend. Her name is Tia.
I really do have friends outside of Robin. I promise I have other friends. And Tia is a Nigerian princess who moved to London. And yeah, she said she would be Posh Spice. If she was a Spice Girl, she would have been Posh Spice. And she Nigerian royalty, and that they bond over having twins together, and that's Giselle and Tia's relationship. So the housewife that got read by a newbie also shows up, and I don't know why they keep involving her. Like, this is getting tired. Like, I'm tired of the housewife that the newbie had read for filth. Like, I'm just so tired of her showing up. Kay and Angel came in after Giselle and Tia, so I'm like, dang, y'all must have been in the car riding on the way there, and they had pulled up and was like, yeah. So, but they came in after, said hey to everybody, and, you know, doing their little hellos and whatnot. So Giselle is like, she glad she getting to meet some of Kay's friends because she want to know Kay a little bit better. And what better way to know somebody than through their friends who gonna talk shit about them when they get drunk. They just meet the housewife, the old housewife, and then, you know, she introduced herself to Tia in Tia's British accent. Then Stacey arrives, which, I mean, like Ashley said, she didn't expect Stacey to go, but Stacey, like she said, still I rise. So of course she's gonna rise for the bloom, girl. Come on. So Stacey walk in and she speak to everybody but Kay, and Kay's like, hey girl, you just not finna speak to me. And honestly, Stacey is also kind of passive aggressive because, like, you still feel some type of way about Kay and her saying that your situation is scary and blase, and so you want to be like, I'm just gonna come in and ignore people who I don't have time for. But if you supposed to be the bigger person, and especially coming to Ashley's event, and Ashley done said way worse about you, you could at least be like, hey y'all, hey Kay, your friend, her, you, them, like, you're doing a lot and very little, and then you making this girl look crazy because she looking light, so you finna acknowledge everybody but me. But also, Kay, you just need to take that and run with it because, oh, okay, you ain't gonna speak, I'm just gonna not hear you for the rest of the night then. Like, don't speak to me, I ain't gonna speak to you. So Wendy comes in and actually speaks to everybody, and then when she stops at Angel she had did that Nene and Dr. Love meme, and she was like, but I know you're from somewhere. Haven't seen you before. That was funny, but she was like, yeah, she a familiar face. We went to college together, but we didn't run in the same social circles. And if the school that they went to, I don't know. Hold on. Okay, so I had to look it up. And I was like, if they school was a PWI, the black population, no, everybody don't run in the same social circles just because we are black and we go to this school that's predominantly white. But because there is a smaller black population than the other races there, you do see those people in passing, and your friends could be friends with them, or they could be friends of a friend of a friend. So I get where Wendy's coming from. That's like, oh yeah, she's a familiar face. Like, now I could get to know this girl for somebody that I've known and seen before, but also don't expect me to actually know this girl besides her name and her face just because we both went to the same college. So we finally get to the bottle girl turned Duchess coming down the stairs, and she can barely come down the things. I would have thought Sally was gonna take a tumble because she couldn't even walk in her dress. And it's making me wonder, why didn't you practice this? Why is this the first time you put the dress on and walk down the steps for something that it was going to be a grand event on TV? Like, that's something I would have practiced. But then Ashley's also one of those quirky, haha, I'm funny, awkward girls, and tries to make that her whole personality. So for her to be like, oh, I'm just going to go with the flow and then potentially fall, but like, hey guys, I'm quirky. She gives me that. So I didn't want to rehearse just so people can be like, oh, she's so quirky. She's so awkward. I don't really care about Ashley's blooming. She was a beauty queen. She did philanthropy. I don't know when that was because that was never really brought up ever. And then she had that fake money laundering scheme of a restaurant where they were selling kangaroo meat and spider legs. And then her second bloom, or the first bloom, was marriage to Michael grab-ass Darby, and then having those kids that look exactly like the both of them. And now her third bloom, or second bloom, is her getting a divorce and her doing a hat selling company with Giselle and still getting to be on this show without being disgraced because don't nobody really like her except for the fact that she just is messy and got a big old forehead. And some people, I mean, if her forehead's big enough to see a reflection in, and if you as vain as Giselle, who got 48 mirrors all around the house, yeah, I would want Ashley around too, because I mean, I can always check myself out in her forehead. That way I can know that I look good or not. Also, let's talk about the fact that Wendy and Kiana dresses both look way better than Ashley's, especially Wendy's. Ashley's dress looked like something. Wendy's dress looked like a bloom, like this is my second bloom type dress. So the stylist, I don't know if she got that from a stylist or if she got that from the dress lady, but it's a chop for me. So Giselle and Wendy is sitting down talking, and Kiana sits down and kind of feels some type of way because ain't nobody acknowledged her presence that moment. And I'm like, girl, if I'm sitting here talk like mid word, you can't expect me to, my next word to be, oh, hey girl, thanks for sitting down with us. Like, no, wait till we're done. Wait till I finish this sentence at least so I can be like, hey, like, what? Like, this is why people be saying Kay is reaching, because it's like, now you begging for attention from Stacy and now Wendy, and then you feeling some type of way that Wendy don't acknowledge you every time y'all go out together. Like, now people is feeling like you thirsty for friendship, and it's like, girl, you don't have to do all of that. Like, people liked you for who you were. That's why you got brought back. So just be yourself. Like, nobody can really be themselves, and it's just so sad. So Kiana asked Giselle if she could rise up for a moment so she could talk to Wendy, because she really got some stuff she want to get off her chest, right? So Kay is like, Wendy, I feel some type of way about the way you've been treating me in these last few moments of us being together, or these last few months of our friendship, and I just feel like a lot of it is coming off fake and phony. So Kay is like, when we on the phone, we good Judies, but then when you see me out in person, you be acting like you don't know me for real, or I'm like a tag-along, hanger-on type of friend. And she mentioned how when they was at some event, Kay had said that she was going to be a sponsor, and then Wendy was like, oh, congratulations, girl, see you there. But then come to find out, Wendy was a speaker there. What made you not want to share that? And then Wendy's like, no, it wasn't that I didn't want to share it. I hyped you up. I congratulated you. I didn't want to take away from that moment. And I can understand that. You don't want to post like on her page or like comment and be like, oh, congrats, girl. I'm so happy for you. I'll see you there. I'm also going to be a speaker. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. But at the same time, that could have been a separate text message, or like, did you already know that you were going to be a speaker there? Like, there's just so many unanswered questions when it comes to that whole thing, because like, if y'all really is good friends and y'all do be talking on the phone together, why you ain't text her and be like, oh, by the way, girl, I'm going to be speaking at that same event. So this is why I really can't wait to see you there. I don't know, but it's making Kay look like she reaching and she thirsty for Wendy friendship, when Wendy low-key is doing stuff that, like, friend, why you ain't tell me that you was gonna be there? Like, okay, see me there. What do you mean by that? Like, of course that's not gonna be a follow-up comment, but like, you could have texted her and been like, I'm gonna see you there because I'm finna be a speaker. But you didn't want to do that because you were gonna take away from her moment of her post when you could have just sent a text message. Then Kiana mentions how at that same event, Wendy never acknowledged her at all. And Wendy's like, girl, I was on stage. What, you want me to stop speaking and acknowledge you? And it's like, no. But if y'all were sitting down in the crowd together and you saw her once you did get on stage to speak, and then you got off the stage and then you sat back down at your table, that could have been the moment to turn around and be like, hey girl, like, there's never a time where you didn't have to speak except when you were speaking. I get the did you want me to stop during my speech to acknowledge you? I get that. But for you to allegedly not have acknowledged her at all throughout the event, that's shady. That's passive aggressive. That's weird. Because why you ain't wave at all? Like, that's weird. It's weird, and it's making Kay look like she's reaching, and it's like, maybe I'm gonna pick her up a little bit so she can actually touch it, because it's giving you never acknowledged her the whole event. And that's kind of my problem, because I'm just like, that is fake and phony. Like, that's weird. So then Kay mentions the makeup comment that when they was at the NAACP Awards, Wendy was like, oh, hey, girl, did you do your own makeup? That is shady, because don't do that. Don't do that in front of all these people, especially if we meet on the red carpet, and then the first thing you say to me is, did you do your own makeup? Girl, did you get them? That ain't got nothing to do with the show. I did my own makeup because I like to be financially in my bracket then. So we get to Giselle, Ashley, Stacy, and Angel, and they like, oh, Angel, did you meet Ashley? Angel was like, yeah, Ashley is as sweet as y'all say she is. And then Giselle is like, till she not. And then Ashley's like, you know, I can run with the best of them. Your breath can stink, blah, blah, blah. And then everybody like, yeah, because people's breath do stink. And then Stacy's like, you talking about my breath? And then she breathes in Ashley's face, which is crazy. That was crazy. And everybody looking like, well, Stacy, now that you mention it, yeah, it was you. Your breath do be a little tart. Even Angel was like, her breath greeted me before she did, which is the breath shit is so crazy. Because why didn't y'all tell this girl that last season? Like, this can't be new. This breath is not new breath. So why is it just now being addressed? Like, that's the thing for me. Why have y'all not told her breath stank already when y'all already were saying she's a liar? The minute she said she wasn't a liar, I would have been like, Aunt, you is a liar, because I know you didn't brush your teeth this morning and you probably went and told everybody that you did. That could be a real read and a gag of is she a liar or not. But no, y'all don't even want to go there yet because y'all still want to get on this TJ stuff. Nobody... Girl. So Stacy tells Ashley, let's go talk over here, because every time you and Giselle together, y'all like to tag team on people. And then Giselle's like, that's a lie, which low-key is a lie, because usually Giselle tag teamer is Robin, but Robin's not here right now. Wasn't even invited to the second bloom, which that is your only kudos for this whole episode, Ashley, is that Robin wasn't invited. But you still invited the housewife that got ran through by a newbie that nobody wants around anymore. So that takes it away. Anyways, they get out there and Stacey's like, what is your real problem with me? Like, I showed up, I'm trying to be supportive, I'm trying to be here and your friend. Ashley's just like, it's because you lie, you're a liar. Like, you be hiding stuff, you be omitting stuff. Like, I just can't see the truth in you, which makes me not really want to be your friend. And your breath be stank. Like, girl, then the ex-housewife come out with Tia, and then Stacy friend AJ come over and be like, y'all too loud, like y'all got a lot going on right now. So Tia's like, what can we do to squash this, because this is going on for too long? Like, does she just have to show you her divorce papers? And Ashley is like, yeah. And it's just like, even then, girl, you still gonna be like, oh, well, she faked these, or she just did these in order to please us. So I personally don't think anything Stacy can do can prove to these girls that she's not a liar. Stacy calls Ashley an imp, a devil, a messy little troll, and all Ashley can do is say, and you a liar, and you a liar, and you a liar. Okay, and you be lying. Didn't you lie and say your husband ain't grabbed that man's booty? Like, you lied. Didn't you lie and say that y'all restaurant wasn't a money laundering scheme, even though it only lasted half a year and y'all was selling kangaroo meat and spider legs? Girl, all y'all is weird on this show. But that was the end of the episode. Let me know what you guys think about it in the comments. Be sure to like and subscribe. Share this with everybody that you know. And I will be back with another one sooner than later. Bye.